Hello and welcome to Let's Play Transformers Fall of Cybertron. I am Decepticon Rampage and welcome back. I've had a bit of a hiatus since my last Let's Play. I have just finished moving recently and trying to get things back in order. It takes a little bit of time, so had a bit of a delay, but I am back and I am ready for this game. I have been chomping at the bit to be able to start playing this. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump straight into it, into our campaign. For anyone who's unfamiliar with Fall of Cybertron, compared to War for Cybertron, this one has a bit of a different layout than the previous game. So in this one, you don't get to pick the character you're playing as each stage. You have, instead of having 3 different choices, you play as a specific character. And I'll kind of get into that in a minute here. Let's go ahead and start this up.
Leaving our home is the hardest decision I've ever had to make. It has been a long, painful war with the Decepticons. Whatever lies beyond that portal is our best and last hope, my friend.
Okay, so at the end of the previous game, the Exodus had begun from Cybertron. The core of Cybertron had been corrupted and was forced to go into shutdown to recuperate, which would take millions of years. And thus, so obviously the planet can't support life anymore. So it's all the Transformers were forced to leave, and at this point, the majority of them had left. In fact, the last couple missions of War for Cybertron dealt with the Autobots trying to evacuate the planet, and then the space station. Oh, here, I gotta look around. It's a calibration. Yeah, this whole chapter is basically just a tutorial mode. And yes, I want to keep it that way. That's no inversions. Alright. Take that. Ah, yeah, okay. But yeah, like I said, this one is pretty much just operates as a tutorial, kind of introduce you to the controls and hit, like I said in the at the, oh goddamn, stop running away. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. But yeah, like I said in the previous game, I didn't actually play as Bumblebee, but I was like, well, we probably go get to play as him in the next game, and because he's the character you are forced to play the very first stage of this game with. So, but again, that as I was talking about the going from the first game to the second game. So the Autobots are trying to evacuate. Megatron was like, no, I'm not going to have any of that. That's why he was blowing up the ships before. It's like, so now he's just trying to stop us in general. Because he's Megatron. He's gonna try to make things every bit as difficult as possible for everyone else. Because that's just the way he is. Anyway, I'm kind of getting my train of thought derailed here. But yeah, I had been very much looking forward to playing this game because the one critical difference between this game and War for Cybertron, I think, is the fact that the level design in this is a lot better because they can design the levels around a specific character. If you have, like with with Optimus, if you were playing as Optimus Prime in War for Cybertron, he has the only thing that's really unique about him is the fact that he had, like, in the escape from the Kaon prison, he had where he could activate his Energon axe. It's like, but those were in specifically scripted sequences. But with this, Bumblebee not so much, because he doesn't really have anything specific about him. One disappointing thing is that you can't double jump anymore, but I don't think, well, I don't know if you can maybe later on in the, push X. Okay, there we go. If you can later in the tutorial, I can't remember. It's been like I don't know, like almost a week since I did a practice run of this, so I can't remember specifically. I don't think so. But for the most part, all the controls in this game are pretty much the same. Hold left trigger to kind of zoom in a little bit, as opposed to just the fire from the hip. Right trigger is how you shoot your weapon. Left stick, you push in the left stick, you transform. You push in the right stick, you melee. This is going to introduce something. I think it's this spot that you couldn't do before, which is sprinting. And I believe every character now has the ability to dash. So I definitely like that, because I thought that's something that was kind of strange, that that not every character would have that, when it was very much an extremely useful tool for mobility. And if you notice too, like the regular enemies, they don't go down in one hit with what do you call it there? With melee. Most time you could just melee, and yeah, that was pretty awesome. I don't remember that as being something I really ever used besides that. I don't know how often you can actually do that, if it's something you can normally do, or if it's a scripted sequence kind of thing. But now we should be getting into some of the little more interesting bits of the chapter now. Like up until right now, we haven't been able to. Hey, look at that! Hey, our alternator was broken. So hey, look, we can transform. Oh, and that's something else that. Oh, hey, look, it's Bruticus. Yeah, and like vehicle controls are all the same. I think most of the on-ground... Oh, shoot, there was a thing in the way. I'm not paying enough attention, apparently. Yeah, I think this is all pretty much spot on, but like I said, I think everything has a nitro. So some of the stuff feels a lot more fluid in this game, which kind of makes sense. I mean, when your first game of a type, you're only in general going to get better as you go on, I would think. And like as I mentioned in the other Let's Play, man, War for Cybertron was so good, but I really feel like this one just went above and beyond, that. Alright, we're loaded up. Oh yeah. Oh, and this is a new thing too. In the previous game you could equip 2 weapons. This time you can equip a standard weapon and a heavy weapon, and they both have different ammo types. It's definitely a different setup, and I kind of like it for the most part, because you can kind of adjust your it allows you to be more prepared for certain situations. So yeah, the difference between the heavy weapons and the oh, I want to shoot that. Oh, somebody else did. Let's blast these Decepticons here. Boom! Alright. And I think that's pretty much going to end this chapter. Yeah, like I said, this is literally a tutorial chapter. It's not gonna. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. In addition, there's nothing in the way of collectibles or anything along that line. One other thing I wanted to mention real quick. I think Ratchet made a mention of it earlier. After, like right at the very beginning, after I took control of Bumblebee, he mentioned about his voice box, and yeah. So this definitely puts, it's one of those pieces that kind of fits it into the Prime continuity, as that Bumblebee can't speak anymore because his voice box was crushed by Megatron at the Battle of Tiger Pax. But oh man, I died. Probably not, but alright, so hey, the Exodus. I think for a lot of these, they don't actually do a whole lot in the way of they don't do as much with the names, but there are some. But anyway, I'll quit talking so we can listen to Optimus Prime.
Eons of civil war have caused the greatest of casualties. Our planet's very core has shut down, halting its production of life-giving energon. Most of us have abandoned our home in hopes of finding a new life among the stars. I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. We do not know how many of our brothers escaped Megatron's blockade. I can only be certain of this. Just one transport remains. Ironhide to Optimus Prime. The last of the energon.
And that last is, as just mentioned, the Ark. So this is actually kicking into the next chapter. So we're gonna go ahead and end it right here. Thank you for joining me on the first chapter of Transformers: Fall of Cybertron, and hope you tune in for the next one. I'm gonna have shorter episodes on the upcoming one, so most of the chapters are going to be probably 2 to 3 parts. So anyway, Chapter 2, Defend the Ark, we will do that one next time. So again, thanks for tuning in, and this has been Decepticon Rampage, and we will hopefully see you on the next one. Alright, have a good one, guys.